So you think Raila will not get the AUC seat?
No, he won't. He's not even qualified.
Okay.
Look at the qualifications for you to be a chair of EAC. I know it is a designated position, yeah, for the Eastern African region.
Yes.
Yeah, it is East African region, but in terms of qualification, it doesn't. The Djibouti guy will beat Raila. The people of Kenya said we want a certain type and character of leaders, and therefore they elect Mahanzo, they elect Osotsi to go and represent them. And that is the spirit of chapter 6. Now, the question should be Osotsi into public office. What are they doing with their leadership in that office? For example, in ensuring that aspects of this constitution is used. I like what Mahanzo has described, because Mahanzo is talking about Article 201 of the Constitution, about public finance and prudent and, what's called prudent and responsible use of public money. Should the president be gallivanting all over the country, trying to do political, political planning and all that for 2027, with all the cost that comes with it, is that prudent use of public resources? It is not, in my view. And therefore, going to the bigger question, it is actually the failure of leadership in the country. Because, you see, Trevor, and I've said it many times, I think even in your show here, that you can even write yourself the most beautiful constitution in the world. But if it's not being implemented or being followed, if the letter and even the spirit of that constitution or the law is not being followed, that constitution may not even be worth the paper it's written on. Because it's a leadership that can actually inspire. Let me draw some parallels. The American Constitution was written in 1877, if I'm not wrong?
76.
Yes, thereabouts. By just a group of individuals who are actually rivals, by the way. But they met in Philadelphia and decided, no, we want to write a constitution for the country. It is probably one of the shortest constitutions in the world. I think it's 1,400 words. Of course, if you had with the other 50 constitution of the individual states. But they leave the spirit and letter of that constitution. A country like UK does not even have a written constitution, despite having colonized us and purported to have actually given us a constitution written in the Lancaster House Conference in London. But they don't have a constitution. But when it comes to failure of leadership, there is what they call the constitutional principle of resignation. And if you follow the last event, the last prime ministers of the UK, for example, you had a very brilliant man, David Cameron, because he felt that when Britain was leaving the European Union, he wasn't a good captain enough, and he resigned. Then came the other lady, then came the other lady, and then came, all this. So the spirit of a constitution must be reflected in the leadership of a country. It's how we follow it. For example, the finance bill was rejected by Kenyans. What will a responsible leadership do? It will say, okay, this bill clearly does not reflect the wishes of the people. Because again, that's what Article 1 is all about. That all sovereign power and authority vests in the people, that they can exercise it directly or indirectly through their elected representatives. Now, when the elected representatives pass bad laws that do not reflect the wishes of the people, that's how they should either resign, and we put it in the constitution. You can actually resign. And I still wonder what Osotsi and Mahanzo are doing in the Senate when they are clearly admit that Parliament has been captured, has failed. Now we see a president who is not even accounting for us his promises of 2022, going around campaigning about 2027, and of course capturing a man who has a political constituency that can actually disrupt Parliament. Because that's what President William Ruto is actually doing. President William Ruto, maybe in his wisdom or lack of it, decided that, for me to sit comfortable, I need to bring in Raila Amolo Odinga, because Raila Amolo Odinga has sycophantic following. So let me bring him so that, and by the way, he's not being honest to Raila, because Raila will not get the AUC position.
Why?
But William Ruto will say, oh, you know, simuliona mimi nilijaribu. Sinajua tulipanga kupeleka mzee almost sound like a basa. So simunajua ama namna gani my friends. Simunajua tulipanga.
So you think he will not get the AUCC?
Lakini sio mimi nilikata. So and that will be his argument, man.
So you think Raila will not get the AUCC?
No, he won't. He's not even qualified.
Okay.
Look at the qualifications for you to be a chair of EAC. I know it is a designated position, yeah, for the Eastern African region.
Yes.
Yeah, it is East African region, but in terms of qualification, it doesn't. The Djibouti guy will beat Raila, and let me tell you, I'm making a political prophecy, and I hope you can invite me when the election is done. It won't happen. Baba ataoshwa. In fact, as they say, as he say in the Luo, they will nango Baba.
Okay, yes. I want us to shift into the conversation of Nyanza, but I'll give you.
I think it's not fair for distinguished personality like Ekuru to make such pronouncement on TV.
Yeah.
That Raila is going to lose. I mean, on what basis is he saying that?
I'm
your
talking
position
of
is going to
No,
what is your position?
I mean, it's not fair at
What
all.
is your position?
The campaigns have started. The elections are going to be in February. Raila, he's campaigning.
Yeah.
And he has been campaigning.
And what is your prophecy?
And I think Raila has his own networks in Africa, away from even Kenyan government. I have been with him to West Africa, and I can attest to that.
Okay.
And I think it is not prudent for you to say that because of one or two things that Raila is going to lose.
So in your
Let
view,
us all support Raila, because if Raila wins, it's not Raila winning.
Okay.
It is Kenya winning.
So in your view,
So we must
what will
look
be the
at it
outcome?
as a Kenyan agenda and not an individual agenda for Raila Odinga.
Okay, so what is your prophecy? He has said that he will lose. What do you say?
Well, my position is that Raila is going to put in his very best. He's going to lobby around. He's has already lobbied a number of countries, and is continuing to lobby many countries.
Yeah.
And I think Raila is going to win this AU position.
Okay.
Let us not politicize this process.
What do you mean
your,
not
your, view
politicize?
is, your view is just as valid as his.
Yeah,
He says he's going to win, he says he's going to lose.
Yeah.
It's either win or lose.
It's a prediction.
Yeah,
But
so
I
it's a
want to-
prediction.
Yeah,
We'll see what happens.